Hi, welcome to the next episode of the latest thread, Creative Spark, where we share a little inspiration photo for all of you. And hopefully, you're following along and you're trying out some of our designs and come up with some of your own as well. So, this time we are working on Welcome Mat. We shared at the end of the last episode. And there is so much going on in this welcome mat. So I'm really curious to see what everybody has pulled from this photo. So I guess we'll just get started, right? It's the easiest way. Yeah.
Just start.
Start. Ooh.
Well, this is mine, and I have to admit, I didn't do this project for this particular assignment. It was something
Did you borrow one?
I borrowed one from a previous challenge, I have to admit, but it was perfect. I pondered because all I could see on the doormat was those gear type shapes, with all the other things. Like, yeah, that's what I focused on, those gears.
Mhm.
And so that's what I went with. And those gears were
Is that cork?
out of cork fabric and then just glued on. And then it went from there.
Oh, cool.
That was actually a thing I did. And of course, now, Karen, I need your help. What was that?
That's percolate. Percolate.
Yes. And I thought it was the coolest thing to see that because Karen used that app at one point, and I thought that is just the coolest thing ever.
Yep.
So, that kind of can help you with inspiration as to whether it's, coloring when you're deciding on colors for your fabrics or just adding additional shapes and taking a peek what it looks like.
It simplifies your photo enough to just be the basic, what's in that photo. So
and it's a lot easier than to draw something. So,
Can you make it have less dots?
yeah, you have to. It's called brew. So you spin the little wheel, and you want a mild brew instead of a strong brew, and it's less dots. Or it's fun.
It is fun.
What you're gonna get. Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of a colorblind test.
Yeah.
Oh. But as you can see on my quilting, on the next slide, I totally didn't pay attention to what Percolate told me. I did my own thing, and I thought it worked with the straight lines behind it because of the mottled fabric. Well, it's not really mottled, it's grunge fabric. And so, it has the additional colors. And I thought because the cork has different shades in it, and so it picked up some of that background. And it didn't really need a whole lot, at least in my opinion, because I tend to overquilt everything, making it too much. And so in this case, simplicity was best.
It's very cool. Makes you want to touch it because the edges are just there. Like you want to.
Yeah, they're not the round thing, the flangy things are not stitched down.
Yeah.
So it is very textural, yes.
But because it's not fabric, those aren't going to fray, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Fabric.
Very cool. You could layer different sizes of gears on top of each other. You could have all kinds of fun with that. I love that idea.
Very fun.
Very cool. Okay, here's our inspiration. We don't know who's going to be next. I just click. And there we go.
That'd be me. I just liked how the kind of those shapes, whatever, like they just went out and they were somewhat different, all of them. And I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. I can make the stencil.
The red ones?
Any of them really. Like
there's blue ones too. The more you look at it, yeah.
So that's all I did. I mean, and I really didn't have much plan except that I knew I was going to come out from it, like those are. And then I just grabbed a ruler and started connecting some
Mhm.
dots. And I didn't want mine to be round because I didn't want it to be a flower. So I went squarish,
Mhm.
if that's a word. But
It has a hint of floral.
It's a Jody flower.
Yeah.
yeah, I can't really do the too much flowery things.
Got the petals
I
on the
try.
inside still. I
Mhm.
mean, I could see a flower because on the inside, those 4 petals are,
Mhm.
let's say a tulip has those, what are they called?
Petals,
No, not the petals, what's on the
leaves,
inside. It's
Stamens.
black. They're
Stamens on
black.
the inside.
stamens.
The
You know.
stamens.
That's what I would
Okay,
see.
guys, it's not a flower. Stop.
Got it. Got it.
It's a blooming square.
That's it.
That's a good word for
Very cool.
Yeah.
it.
All right.
A flower.
Another look at our inspiration.
Okay,
Ooh.
this is mine. This was not my first plan for this piece. First, when I first was looking at this, what I noticed really is that there's a lot of contrast on that welcome mat. And I wanted to bring that out. You see the like teardrop shapes over there that are very dark black over the top of flowers, or what kind of look like flowers to me. Anyway, so my original idea was that I was really going to bring that out. But when I went to quilt it, it did not turn out the way I anticipated. So this was my second attempt here. And I started with a circular stencil and then just drew on top of it because all those shapes in the background there all kind of start from a center and work their way out. So I just added different shapes that I saw inside that welcome mat and then built upon all of that to come up with this next piece that I quilted there. And I think I gave a more cropped shot of that, maybe.
Oh,
There you go. A little more cropped shot of that so you could see just starting in the center and play with it. And I did pick up on the contrast that is in that welcome mat by using a very dark black thread on that
Mhm.
yellow
And it goes
piece of
over the
fabric.
pattern of the fabric, which
Mhm.
is great.
Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, and the pattern is the same shape that's in the center.
Yeah.
And I was looking for it to be kind of a flower because I like flowers.
I love how it looks stacked on top of each element.
Mhm. Very cool.
Almost looks
Yeah.
like a silhouette, the shape that you're quilting. Very cool.
Or like the flowers are peeking out in front of like little pokey, like the shape of a fence post would be like
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
picket fence. It's cute. All right. Another look.
Oh, that's me again. Yeah. So I'm just doing background fills, I think. But so I took the little petal shape from that light blue, which I marked that square, and then I made them kind of land all kind of tucking in. I don't know what the word is. Tucked
Nested.
into
Good
each other,
term.
so it worked as what's the word?
Nested.
Nested. There, so that they would kind of nest together, and it doesn't. I mean, that's more like steampunkish flower, I guess, because it's geary. But I wanted it to just look more flowery because
Mhm.
I like flowers. So,
Poor Jody.
so then
Jody would probably put a gear inside each flower.
No.
No?
she would just make the center and forget about all those petals.
They're
Or
squares
they'd
now.
be very, very Jody shaped petals, like that circular
Oh.
square.
Yeah, it would be a fun one to do because really you could just stretch out the petals into the empty spaces of the ones around it, and
Yeah, I think I did
you
that
don't
more
have
when
to worry
I,
about perfect symmetry or
yeah, when I quilted it, they got stretched more.
Mhm. Oh yes, let's see that.
Yeah, so they're not quite, they're oblong flowers now just to fit the space.
But the echo fills in that area.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and I think that kind of stuff happens, right? Because you draw what you think you're gonna do, and then it always seems like soon as you get there to the fabric and you look at it, it just, you realize like, oh, well, I can travel in here and I can,
Well, and like, can you see my mouse or no?
No.
Oh, so Sharon, like, right, just head to the left, like 3 inches. See that little swirl? Now head to your right. One more, that one. Like I couldn't fit another flower there. So it was just a swirl with no petals, but
Yeah.
it's like a little bud, I guess.
Yeah, and there's another bud right here.
Uh-huh.
That's perfect though.
Yeah.
So it still gives your eye the like that dimension of, oh, there's a bud, but it's all the like all the rest of the flowers all behind everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like it too because even though it's intended to be flowers, based on the scale that you stitch that and how you stretch them out, it's literally could be a nondescript fill or background, um, because it's just very subtle. I see it to be very subtle.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Very pretty.
Oh, this is mine. So I immediately saw the steampunk inspiration in that mat, and I love steampunk. And so I wanted to have the industrial part of the gears and the softness of the feathers, and then the little tiny flower in the middle. And I like that contrast of the hard and the soft together. And I use that circle stencil. I love that stencil, and it helped keep everything in line where it needed to be. And there's my finished gear feather flower.
Love it.
Very
Yeah.
So did you break thread to go in, or did you connect? Because I see a petal that touches, but I don't think it's.
I think I did the feathers first, and then I broke thread and did the gears on the inside and broke again and did the flower in the middle,
Mhm.
which I don't usually like to do, but it worked for this.
Yep. Yep. I like it. Oh, now I'm envisioning this combined with Ava's cork gears sitting inside the center.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, that would be neat.
Really cool. Great ideas. Doormat. Oh, okay. This is mine. So we all go so different, which is great. But when I was staring at the mat and I tried so many different things, I too was inspired by this kind of dark ring of these feathers. And I spent a long time on trying to figure out how to quilt it, and I didn't even attempt to stitch it because it was hard enough to just draw to get it to sit right. But as I was drawing it and then scrapping that idea, I realized I was left with this arc shape going through there, all the way through. And as I looked at it, I was like, that's the framework for a spider web. And so I decided to go, instead of trying to copy like a graphic element of the mat, I decided to take the colors, and I probably could have used more color, but the ones that stood out to me were the blue, green, and the red and the black, and add more lines of color to just fill in the spider web. So we don't always have to take shape inspiration from something. Sometimes it's color that we can see and play with. So I did it on black, and I started with a kind of like a reddy orange for the structure of the spider web. And then they're so fun and easy to quilt because you literally just bounce from one line to the next. And then I just left enough space in between to put a couple more colors. So there's blue and gold and orange in there. So And I love spiders. So the spider web was like, yeah, that's a perfect design choice for me. I did use different curved rulers to go around the outside edge to just get the perimeter of the shape nice and even, but on the inside I just bounced freehand from one to the next. And in nature, spider webs aren't perfect, right? So it's a perfect way to practice going point to point with soft arcs.
It has
I
so much
like it.
dimension and movement. It's so cool.
It was fun.
You know, when you look at it, like if you don't even, like I can look at that and not see the spider web at all, but it's like it's a thing that you could go back into.
Oh yeah, the two different things, like what's it? I have no words today. But yeah, when you see it, and then almost when you look at feathers, and sometimes they're recessed and then other times they're puffy. It's
Mhm.
like that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an optical illusion.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is, I mean, you hit that right on the head there with the colored choices,
Mhm.
because
Let's
I'm
see.
drawn to that red, orange, color. And then you see the subtle different colors.
Yeah.
And it works.
And there is black in the picture, but I decided to put the black in the fabric
Mhm.
and use a black piece
But
of
it
fabric.
is amazing, truly, particularly with this project, how we all looked at it so differently.
Yep.
Yeah, we really
Well, this one in particular is probably a really good example of, inspiration, because I think in general, you might think like, oh, I'd take something in there and do something else with it. But like sometimes someone could look at it and just, maybe see that light ray that comes across the top and do something totally that would look nothing like it came from this.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite part of an exercise like this is just
The
to see what
unexpected
people see.
that you pick up on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was fun.
Very cool.
Good one.
Yay.
Where did you get the picture, Ava? Did you see it? Would somebody have that welcome mat?
Yeah, me.
Oh, you have it. Oh, it's your own mat.
She gets inspiration daily from it. Very cool.
Awesome. Good taste.
Yeah. Well, I hope everybody got a little inspiration from that. And you're now over analyzing the photo, deciding where you're going to pull your inspiration from. So, do we want to share? We want to share next month. Yes.
Yep. Let me get that one up. This is a
what
good
is
one
it?
too. They're all good. They're all good, but yeah. Okay. Here's what's next.
No, it's a tile wall on a bar.
No, this is right up my alley.
This is very Jody, and very Ava. Whose photo is it?
Hey, do you
Mine.
see the fox's head in there?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
there's a fox head.
That's cool.
Yeah, the nose, because you see the nose is where all those lines come together. That
Very
was a
cool.
tour stop, was taken at a tour stop. We were trying to set up, and I believe that was their breakfast bar.
I like how there's a purse hanger in it too.
Well, what
We
drew
should
me was
save
not
this story for
only-
next month, no?
Well, what drew me was not only the line designs, which I thought was very cool, but essentially it was the contrast of that chair in that color in front of that, I think is what made it.
Yeah,
Nice.
very cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Alrighty. So we hope that you're enjoying it. We hope that you get inspiration, and we hope you'll try next month with us. And we'll see you back here next time.
Yeah.
Bye.